fault. No, it's not. Well, I mean, it's if you're going to say Bonnier and the like, then sure. But it really is not Republicans' fault. It's not conservatives' fault. Hey, folks, we tried to keep your taxes low, by the way. We kind of, we say that you deserve to keep your own money. That's what we say. That's what we say. We do. What else? What is wrong with you keeping your own money? You obviously want to use it and spend it, so there you go. We got I know some people are saying, well, what are you doing, Rod? You're kind of moving forward kind of fast. Well, it's an abbreviated show tonight, only an hour. So got to move it along, try to get everything in. Talk radio host calls for birthers to be killed. Yeah, this is from, the left wing that is so caring and loving and accepting. Yeah, that's the term, right? Accepting. A left-wing radio host declared on air last week that birthers, those who question Barack Obama's eligibility to be president, should stand in a circle with semi-automatic rifles pointed at one another and, on his command, open fire. Well, I thought he wanted to get rid of semi-automatic weapons. So how are the birthers going to have them? Oh, you want to confiscate them, right? So how are we supposed to have them? Well, I'm not a birther, but how are birthers supposed to get a hold of these semi-automatic weapons when you liberals want to ban them and confiscate them? On his January 9th broadcast, host Mike Malloy scoffed while quoting a WND column from commentator Craig McMillan, in which McMillan claimed Chief Justice John Roberts is in a terrible position of being asked to swear in a president who isn't eligible for the job because of his dual citizenship at birth. Now, Malloy said, these GD birthers, that's what he said, these GD birthers, but he actually used the whole word. Will you people please get together with your AR-15s in a big circle pointing inward, and on my count, open fire. This is what we get all the time from the left. They're always talking about killing us and maiming us and taking away our liberties and keeping us from enjoying the liberties that the founding fathers gave us and fought so hard for. Oh yeah, the liberals they want to take it from us. They don't want us to have those liberties. Oh no! As a matter of fact, remember, if you listen to the show on a regular basis, you know that there's a New Hampshire legislature, state representative, who's calling for laws to make it difficult for conservatives and Republicans to move and live in the state of New Hampshire. Well, she wants to make laws. She said it out loud. She wants to enact laws that make it more difficult, uncomfortable for conservatives and Republicans to want to move to and or live in the state of New Hampshire. They can all leave. So just laws that somehow target conservatives and Republicans. Not going to bother. I don't know how you do that. Not going to bother. I guess if you attack conservative behavior, that'll be a way to affect conservatives. Otherwise, I don't know how you're going to have, anti-conservative laws without affecting everybody. But, hey, if it's to get rid of the conservatives, then it's probably worth the time and effort for the liberals to suffer a little bit to get rid of us, right? Now, I'm sure that's probably what they're saying, but the problem is that we don't go away. We fight. We fight for our liberty. We fight for our free, and we fight for yours, too, even if you're not a conservative. See, that's the difference. We stand by the Constitution. We stand and protect your right to be a total idiot. Plain and simple. But you, on the other hand, you liberal, you would not do the same for us. Now, I wonder who's more caring and open-minded. Double trouble. House GOP eyes default and shutdown. House Republicans are seriously entertaining dramatic steps, including default or shutting down the government, to force President Barack Obama to finally cut spending by the end of March, who says, I am not negotiating on a debt ceiling limit. I am not negotiating. You just going to raise the debt ceiling limit, and I'm going to keep on spending, and that's that. Because I'm president, not you. The idea of allowing the country to default by refusing to increase the debt. Now, see, there's one thing about everybody, they make it sound like that the day after, we hit the debt limit, the day after, the government runs out of money and we can't pay our bills and the military is not going to get paid. No, that is not the case. That is so far from wrong. That is not the case. Not at all. Because why? Because we still have tax money coming in. In fact, there's still money in the Treasury, and it doesn't run out for a while. Yeah, it will eventually run out, but not for a while. Not for a few months. And if you cut spending, well, then, you're not spending as much, so you won't have to borrow as much. Ooh, which means what? Oh, the debt limit doesn't have to be raised as much, if at all, if you do things rightly. I think it's possible that we would shut down the government to make sure President Obama understands that we're serious. House Republican Conference Chairman Kathy Morris Rogers of Washington State said, we always talk about whether or not we're going to kick the can down the road. I think the mood is that we've come to the end of the road. Yes, we have. We've got to really do something about this ridiculous, atrocious debt. No two ways about it. However, if you ask Harry Reid says it's okay to skip Congress and the debt ceiling. Senate majority. Now, this is the guy who hasn't done his job, who hasn't done his constitutional fiduciary duty. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid and other top Democrats are putting new pressure on the White House to circumvent Congress to boost the nation's debt ceiling if no bipartisan agreement can be reached. Well, the president can't do it, Harry. Can you believe this? This is Rome. This is ancient Rome. We've got leaders, elected representatives who are pulling for and encouraging one man to become a dictator. This happened in Rome. It's happening all over again. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why is it that they're going this route with this guy? Why didn't they do that for Clinton? I'm sure Bill would love to have a third and fourth term. I mean, why Obama? I don't get it. I don't get why this guy. Well, there is a number of reasons. I don't have time to go over those reasons with you this evening, but yeah, there are some specific reasons why this guy. And I know what those reasons are, but we'll have to get into that another time. But just know that you've got Harry Reid, an elected representative, a senator, who is telling the president, another elected official, just to forget the Constitution and circumvent Congress and raise the debt limit yourself. Yeah, you're going to have the power, Mr. President. No, just you alone. Not the 435 men and women who were elected in the House. No, we know that the Constitution says that that's where all the spending bills and budgets are supposed to come from, but you just go around that. By the way, the Obamacare mandate may be a mandate plus. The Obama administration always said that there was a practical reason it needed to mandate, which starts next year. It wasn't to be mean to people. No, it was just to control people. It was supposed to pull in enough healthy customers to pay for all the sick people who will get coverage. Yeah, so we're all supposed to pay for somebody else. That's the whole point. That's why the White House stuck with it all the way to the Supreme Court. However unpopular politically, it was the best tool to make the new health system work. No, it's not the best. It was the only way. Because otherwise, having people who actually utilize the system pay for the system, no, that means it'd be too costly. Here's the catch. The individual mandate penalties will be pretty weak as they are phased in over 2 years. Only $95 when they start in 2014, much less than it costs to buy insurance. And yet everyone with pre-existing conditions will have to be accepted for coverage right away. That's why insurance companies are telling the administration the mandate won't be enough for the first 2 years. They want more incentives, such as a late enrollment fee, to get healthy people to sign up quickly. Without getting the healthy folks in, the fear is that everyone's health insurance premiums could shoot through the roof when all of those sick people get their coverage. Well, of course it will. That's the whole plan. The idea is being called Mandate Plus because some of the ideas were floated by health experts last year as replacements in case the Supreme Court struck the mandate down. Now that the mandate is here to stay, insurance companies and some policy experts say that the other ideas should go. Well, see, we need to just repeal the whole damn thing. We need to repeal the law, plain and simple. Nothing else to say about it. We need to get rid of it. Just say goodbye to the mandate. And finally this evening, as I mentioned earlier, severe Beijing smog prompts openness from government. Yes, one of Beijing's worst rounds of air pollution kept school children indoors and sent coughing residents to hospitals. But this time, something was different about the murky haze, the government's transparency in talking about it. While welcomed by residents and environmentalists, Beijing's new openness about smog also put more pressure on the government to address underlying causes, including a lack of efforts to expand Western-style emissions to limit all of the vehicles, emissions limits to all the vehicles in Beijing's notoriously thick traffic. Yeah, you can't even... it's hard to see. People can't breathe. But yeah, we're still the bad guys here in this country. That's we're the bad guys. We are the bad guys. Nobody else. We do too much consuming here in this country. Nobody else. Well, folks, we are out of time for today. We will be back tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel, 7 p.m. Eastern. And we will be running for 2 hours. So be here on this Spreaker channel before the Rod Eccles Show. I'm Rod Eccles. It has been a pleasure. I'm out.
Well, goodbye. And don't think it hasn't been a little slice of heaven, because it hasn't.